I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do with my life. I want to be a motivational speaker.
Had you not considered being a motivational or inspirational speaker?
Oh, I feel like, the last 5 years, I've narrowed down my niche so much that that's where I was. And instead of think like big picture, what do I really want? And I tell you what, this 29 training, it is definitely the journey. The destination is going to be phenomenal. The journey along the way. I was telling Debbie, we both are listening to these books like Jesse Itzler, Seal, the seal that lived with him for a month. We're listening to his book. And when I was in my recovery for my oral surgery, I stopped listening to it. And those voices started again. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. And I was like, I never realized how important what you feed your brain is versus what you feed your body, food, fuel.
It's the same.
It's amazing to me. What you're listening to, it's power. There's power in that. So I'm back to listening to Seal's book, Never Finished. And man, that dude, I don't know if you've listened to any of his stuff. David Goggins, he is, that man is amazing. He's amazing.
It's it's your environment. It's the people that you're around. It's the things that it all matters, and it makes a difference. I know when I've left like an event or I've been with some people, it's just like, oh God, it just sucks the whole like energy out of, you leave and you're just like, oh God, I'm so over this. And then there's other people you're like, oh my gosh, is it really 1 a.m.? How did that happen? There's a big difference. So I think that, it's what you listen to, what you pay attention to is just as important as nutrition and the whole bit. So I agree with that. I had some interesting experiences lately, like interesting experiences.
Tell me.
Okay. This is one of two really, or there's three, but I'm only going to focus on two. I have been intentionally working on my connection with source because I know there's something there. Let's just put it that way. I have some things that come to me. So that being said, every Saturday I do the Posh show. So live Posh show. I didn't even want to do that show that weekend. I was really in resistance. I was tired. I was choosing all these things of reasons why not to do it. And then I knew that there are people who count on me to be there because it's more than just selling clothes. And so I was like, okay. And I only put like 35 items in the show. And it was really just going to be an intimate, let's be done. Anyway, I'm blow drying my hair. And this thought kept coming into my head. Somebody is hurting. Somebody is really hurting that'll be on the show today, or in the, a buyer in the audience or whatever watching. And they need to hear from you. And this kept coming to me. Okay, the show starts and I had about, I think it was like 21 people in the show. And I said, welcome, then I said, there's something, the time's not right. I'll share that later. So I go on the show, I keep going. And funny thing is I take a dress off of the rack and it's the brand Angie. Nothing, right? So, and then I turn around and I look at the camera and I'm like, now. And I said, there's someone in this show right now who is hurting. And I want you to know that, we're all here for you. We have a really, really tight group on Saturday mornings. And so if that is you, if you feel comfortable, put it in the chat. And so, then I just start, a little more on that. And then I start selling the dress. And then I look over in the chat. I'm like, oh, well, one of our regulars' grandmother had passed away 2 days prior. And so, I see we're giving condolences and we're, and we all felt for her. And then after the show, I always save this is really long, I know, but after the show, I save all the chats. And I went back and I looked at the chat and there's a girl that came on and she said, OM gosh, and lots of exclamation points. And it got mixed in with everything else. And so it got missed. And then she said, I literally just turned on my first Posh show and I saw this. And she said something to the effect of, I can't tell you how much I needed this right now. And there's some other things. And so I reached out to her separately, and she said she was in a really dark place, a really, really dark place. And she's in a place in this world, like geography wise, that it would be in the middle of the night for her to turn on the show. And how she got to, yeah. So it wouldn't be like she woke up in the morning, just like she's never been on a posh show. It was the middle of the night, and she turned it on right when I said that. And so I chatted with her a little bit and encouraged her to reach out to other people and to professionals and so forth. But it was just so interesting how I knew that, and then she just, those things you're just like, and of course Jake was here and it was recorded. I'm like, this just happened. So, yeah, that when I say I'm not overthinking things, I mean in a much deeper level. I'm really going with what's coming to me. There's things coming to me. So I won't go into the next one right now, but there's just a lot of interesting things that are happening that I know that I'm making some connection to somewhere. And it's powerful. So, wow. Yeah, I'm excited.
And I want to acknowledge you for acting on it. You could have just easily gone, yeah, oh, that's kind of silly, like overthinking it. And
Thank
you
you.
acted on it.
Thank you. Because it is a risk too, because you never know the people that are watching the show. Be like, who is this nut job? Like, who she thinks she is reaching out, and I don't care. I don't care about that. It was so strong though. There was no getting around it. And it was so odd that nobody else caught it in the chat. And maybe that was the way it was supposed to be. It was good to have that connection. So
you guys connected behind the scenes, and she felt heard.
Yeah.
And supported.
She's felt supported, and she took it as a sign, just as I did, that not all hope is lost. You never know when someone's hurting, and you never know, like, if those thoughts come to you, go with it. Like, that's what I'm learning, is to be open. And, I've done for a long time, I've done a lot of work on meditating, and I say mindfulness or awareness, or being aware of what's coming to me, because I know that it's coming for a reason. It's not coming without reason. So yeah, that's what that's not working on. I'm allowing to come through me, and I can't wait to see where it goes. It's powerful.
That's cool. What do you think is inspiring all of this? Like, where did you decide where or when or why did you decide to tune into source?
To source.
What's the word you're using?
It is source. It is source. God, source. Source is just easy because it's universal. Remember when The Secret came out? Mm-hmm. Which I think was really good and terrible at the same time. I've always been I did Amway back in the 80s. And Amway is all about positive mental attitude and, manifesting and dream boards and visualizing. And so it's just been part of who I am for a long time. After the poisoning, I started noticing these moments of, like I said, of connection with people, or, animals. Animals are a big one. I kind of tried to research a little bit about what it is and how to develop it more. And I just thought, it's not something I'm going to force. It just is.
I'm curious though. I heard you say about The Secret. Mm-hmm. It was really great. And it was also really
terrible.
Terrible. I'm curious about that. What's behind that?
Well, there's a couple of things. And some of the people on The Secret are not very reputable. And I had a firsthand experience with one of them, James Ray. I don't know if you're familiar with James Ray. I went to one of his seminars in New Jersey. I couldn't get away from him fast enough. And we flew to New Jersey for 3 days. It was snowing. There was no getting out of there. We're stuck in this hotel with all these other people who were enamored by him. And this is when he's in his prime. This is like selling $10,000, evenings with him and, coaching sessions and things. He absolutely, it was visceral for me. I could not even be in the room. I kept getting farther and farther back in the room until I just didn't go back for the seminar for the rest of it. So at the same time, Oprah was promoting him a lot. He was on Oprah several times, and I wrote her this long. And it's also around that same time, I don't know if you remember that I applied to be on the Oprah when she had the Oprah Network.
I
So
totally remember that.
yeah. So, and I was like third or fourth runner up. I don't remember what that was, but I wrote her this long letter and said, please, please, please send someone into these seminars before you continue to promote him, because you need to see what he does. It was horrible. And who he is as a person. I never heard anything back. I didn't expect to hear anything back. But then within months, maybe a year, but within a shorter period of time is when he did the sweat lodge situation where a lot of people died and were severely injured. So that's one of the things. And I know that he's just one person, but what I found from The Secret, where a lot of people thought that all you have to do is think about it and and the Lamborghini is going to materialize. Mm-hmm. They didn't get that there's work that goes behind it.
Take action.
There's action. Yes. It just, you don't see, like we talk about, oh, Lamborghini, I'm a millionaire. So my whole like positive mental attitude, manifesting, like not, manifesting seems so, well, what do you get when you hear the word when you hear somebody say they're manifesting, what do you think?
Creating, bringing into their life.
So you see it as a positive thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't. They think because of things like The Secret, they're like, or they just don't understand it. They're like, manifesting is such BS. Okay.
I've seen it firsthand so many times. And you could manifest junk into your life. It's really, no, wait, let me rephrase that. You've manifested everything in your life. Whether you like it or not, you've manifested it.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Whether you believe in the law, it's real. It's real. So look around. If you don't like it, change. Do something different.
What you focus on is what you get. And a lot of people get disillusioned because they feel like if they think about it hard enough, they say, if I just think about how it's going to happen. Well, it maybe is not the right plan. So on my Facebook, it's been there ever since, I think, after the poisoning. It says something like, my bio says, I get to be reminded all the time, something like that, that God's plan is much bigger and better than my own. Because I think I have this plan, right? I think I know where I'm going and this direction I'm going, and then whoop, nope, just kidding. And then I realize, wow, this is so much better than what I could have ever imagined or would have thought. So being open to that. And I'm never going to, we talked about it before. What am I not confident in? Or it's like, if I wanted to be a NASCAR driver, it's probably not going to happen as much as I want to I want to be a NASCAR driver.
Oh, yeah.
It's not happening. But, that's what some people think, that they didn't get what they wanted, so therefore it doesn't work.
Well, I heard a lot of amazing stories, from positive stories after that, just random here and there. One, I think it was my mom. She worked in the kitchen at the hospital, and she said this guy would come in, he would complain, and he was just really unhappy. And then one day she noticed that he was positive and complimenting people. And she goes, "What shifted in you?" And he goes, "I watched The Secret. It changed my life." And so I think, and didn't mean that it didn't change his job. It didn't change his income. It changed his thinking, and he was more grateful. Now, I don't know if something changed down the road. I think that when changes like that happen, how you see your life, that's the secret. The manifesting is a byproduct of it. It's that be grateful for everything. We talk about gratitude again. Mm-hmm. Be grateful for what you have in your life. And just like what you just said, what you focus on grows. Make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe, because we are growing this channel and we are counting on people like you to help support us. And we thank you for all of you who have supported us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Peace out.
Okay.